Las Vegas, the most volatile housing market in America. In 2020, prices here exploded, fueling one of the biggest melt-ups in the country. By 2022, the crash had already started, and many thought recession was inevitable. That was until Vegas pulled off a shocking recovery in 2023 and 2024. But now, after this infamous double top, the rebound is already cracking hard. Whispers of another Vegas implosion are growing louder. Today, this market is starting to look less like a soft landing and more like 2008 all over again. Not only are housing values starting to drop, but the cracks are spreading far beyond housing. Tourism, the lifeblood of Las Vegas, is showing signs of weakness. Gaming revenue, which carried the city through the last recovery, is slipping. And across social media, a new narrative is taking hold, with more and more voices declaring Las Vegas is dead. Today, we're going to break down why this isn't just online hype. New housing market data reveals trends eerily similar to 2008, and when combined with the broader economic slowdown hitting the city, analysts are beginning to sound the alarm. What looked like a miracle rebound is starting to unravel, and the evidence suggests this could be the beginning of the end, a repeat of Vegas 2008. Just to review, back in 2019, the typical Vegas home sold for about $306,000. It wasn't cheap, but compared to interest rates at the time, you could call it reasonable. Then in 2021, everything changed. As California residents realized many of the pandemic's problems weren't going away, the migration into Las Vegas accelerated. Practically overnight, the city experienced one of the biggest housing booms in US history. By August 2022, the median Vegas value hit $464,000, nearly a 50% jump in just 2 years. It was the dramatic finale to what looked like one of the greatest comeback stories in real estate. Just a decade earlier, Las Vegas had been ground zero for the Great Recession. From 2006 to 2012, the average home here lost 62% of its value, nearly double the national average. In some neighborhoods, prices collapsed by as much as 90%. Entire communities hollowed out. Vegas didn't fully recover to its pre-recession highs until the summer of 2021. The city that had once been the poster child of America's housing crash had finally crawled its way back, or so it seemed. Because by the summer of 2022, the cracks reappeared. Values started falling off a cliff again. Within a single year, Vegas homes were down 10%. And while that might not sound catastrophic compared to the massive gains, the pace of decline was alarming. Then in 2023, the infamous rebound began. Prices bounced back and nearly touched their highs until February of this year. That's when the trend reversed once more. The double top was in, and while today's pullback may look small on the chart, beneath the surface, there are serious concerns that Las Vegas is setting up for another major fall following in the footsteps of Florida. The inventory situation is nothing short of alarming. According to Realtor.com, since January 2024, the number of active listings in the metro has surged by 117%. That kind of growth is completely unsustainable, and it points to the same price dynamics we saw in 2022. But this time, the sharp inventory drop that followed back then is unlikely to repeat. In 2022, the surge in listings was partially offset by Californians fleeing high prices at home and pouring into Vegas. That demand acted as a cushion, but today, after a major macroeconomic shift, that demand has evaporated. Pending sales, the clearest measure of real buyer activity, are already down 8.6% year over year. That trend is set, and with no new wave of buyers coming to rescue the market, the Vegas housing story looks grim. Vegas has never really been a town built on high-income earners. The recent surge in prices, in my opinion, was largely fabricated by wealthy Californians cashing out their homes and bringing that equity across the border. When we dig into affordability, the cracks become obvious. This market is primed once again for a major drawdown. I pulled household income data for Las Vegas going back to 2010 and matched it with home price data from Realtor.com alongside interest rate data. From there, I calculated the average monthly payment and plotted it against household income over the past 15 years. The results speak for themselves. Since 2010, the typical Vegas household has spent about 33% of their income on housing. That number is slightly skewed by the most recent absurd spikes, but realistically, a healthy affordability level for Vegas should hover closer to 25%. For the sake of argument, let's leave the historical average line in place. As the chart shows, the recent price declines have taken a little bit of pressure off, but affordability is still completely out of balance. Right now, it costs the typical median income family 47% of their income just to cover a mortgage. That's simply unsustainable. To me, it's direct evidence of a bubble, one fueled by high-income migrants who distorted local values far beyond what Vegas residents can realistically support. Now that this faucet of outside demand has been turned off, the situation is unraveling fast. Median prices in Las Vegas, in my view, will continue to fall, closely mirroring what we are already seeing play out in Florida. And it's not just housing demand that's breaking down. Everything in Vegas seems to be faltering. One article after another is now proclaiming that Las Vegas is dead. The visitor chart, which has only ever recorded 3 declines in its history, is flashing red again, with traffic down 7% in just the first half of 2025. Passenger counts at the airport are down 7.5% year over year, and the slowdown doesn't stop there. Even foreclosure, something that practically vanished nationwide thanks to the massive equity gains of the last few years, are now rising sharply. In Clark County alone, 200 default notices were filed in June. That's a 32% increase from the same month last year. According to research from the University of Nevada's Light Center for Real Estate, over the first 6 months of this year, nearly 1,300 notices of default have been filed, up 28% from last year. And that brings us here, because behind those numbers are real homes going into distress right now. If you want to see what this looks like for yourself, you can on Foreclosure.com. I pulled up a Las Vegas condo once purchased at the height of the market, and today it's listed at Foreclosure.com at a fraction of its former value. That's the kind of collapse that isn't showing up in the headline data yet, but it's happening in real time. So if you're serious about understanding this market, whether as an investor or just to see what's coming next, head to the link in the description or pinned comment. Foreclosure.com has a 7-day free trial, and you can type in Las Vegas right now to see nearly every distressed listing hitting the market. It's eye-opening, and honestly, it tells a story better than any chart could. The bottom line is this: Las Vegas isn't just slowing down, the cracks are already spreading, and as these defaults keep piling up, the city that once symbolized the housing crash of 2008 looks like it's on the verge of repeating history all over again. Thank you guys for watching. As always, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below if you're a buyer or seller in the Las Vegas area today. And don't forget, if you're an investor, flipper, or real estate professional, make sure you check out the Foreclosure.com link down below. It's in the description and in the pinned comment.